Can you breastfeed and drink alcohol? And the simple answer is yes, but there are 6 things that you should consider. Now, I am a breastfeeding mother myself. I like a glass of wine, particularly when I'm eating my Sunday roast dinner or my Christmas turkey, for example, and I will certainly be enjoying a glass of martini or a glass of Tia Maria over Christmas, for example. But these are the 6 things that you should factor in when you are considering whether it is okay for you to breastfeed and drink alcohol. So the first thing that you want to consider is actually how old is my baby? And a baby under 3 months old takes twice as long to metabolise any alcohol that's within your breast milk as a 3-month+ old baby. So how old is your baby is the first thing to factor in when considering whether or not you are okay to drink alcohol whilst breastfeeding this Christmas. The next thing to consider is how big are you? So how heavy are you? Because the bigger that you are, the quicker that you metabolise alcohol within your system. And so therefore, the quicker it will be before the alcohol that's in your system comes out of your system, and therefore there'll be a lower concentration within your breast milk to be able to breastfeed. The next thing to factor in is, are you eating food when you are drinking alcohol? And when you don't eat, alcohol appears within your system within about 30 to 60 minutes after drinking. Whereas with food, it appears about 60 to 90 minutes later. Now that also means that you need to consider, when am I going to drink my alcoholic drink? And then consider breastfeeding if you want the lowest amount to pass through your breast milk into your baby, for example. So sometimes it might be better to actually consider having your alcoholic drink and feeding within sort of the first 5 to 10 minutes of that alcoholic drink, so that there's less amount within your milk. You can also consider delaying when you breastfeed if you are concerned about alcohol passing through your breast milk to your baby. The next thing to think about is actually how many units are within your drink, and also what's the volume of your alcoholic beverage, for example. It's like comparing a WKD that actually is low alcohol sort of content to your glass of wine, which is much higher volume, much higher units when you are considering drinking. So you might want to consider alternating your alcoholic beverage, or even choosing non-alcoholic this Christmas if that is what you wanted to do. The next thing to factor in is your sleeping arrangements, and if you are co-sleeping, it is not recommended that you would drink alcohol and co-sleep, especially if your baby is less than 4 months old, because the risks of overlay significantly increase under 4 months old, particularly with alcoholic beverages. So you want to consider whether or not it's safe for you to actually drink alcohol because you are planning on co-sleeping with breastfeeding or not. And the most important factor is, can you still parent your children? Are you still safe enough to look after and care for your children? And that's probably more about the amount that you drink over Christmas, because a hangover as a parent, I can guarantee you, is not fun. I'd rather stick pins in my eyes, quite frankly, than have a hangover.